opposition leader has quite capably articulated those things already. But we are beginning to see pieces of governmental action that is beginning to shrink our rights and freedoms, beginning to shrink it now. So one thing, for example, is the removal of the maximum availability of the opportunity to move a vote of no confidence. When you shrink it down to a very tiny corner, then you don't have maximum potential to get political leaders on the floor of parliament to account for their actions. So that narrows down our ability to be able to raise questions of accountability. And now you have this new NEC Act. There's a key section in there. Now we in the opposition, we never get to see these bills until you sit on the floor, you are given a copy of the bill. And if it's many pages and many sections, you just have no chance to read it all. So only towards the end of the debate did I realize that there was a section in there which says that the final NEC decision is non-justiciable. What that means is that you cannot bring it. You cannot challenge a NEC decision in the court. A lot of big decisions are made at the NEC. And so if you didn't challenge that, then you will be in no position to challenge any government action whatsoever, because it always goes back to the NEC decision. Whether it comes to the appointment of the defense commander, the police commissioner, all departmental heads on statutory boards and chairmen and MDs and all departmental heads and everything else, loan agreements and whatever you do comes from a decision of the NEC. Whether you sign a mining agreement or a gas agreement or a petroleum agreement, forestry agreement, it's all decided at the NEC. If they make the wrong decision, from now on, when they make a wrong decision, you have no right to challenge it. How can you prove that they made a decision? If you say they made a decision, the court will say how? Where's the decision? And you have to start by producing a copy of the decision. Well, now you can't do that. So when you take that together with the VONC amendment to restriction on section 145 and the restriction on the ability to put an NEC decision as evidence in court, you begin to see a shrinkage of your ability to hold the government transparent and accountable. It's shrinking. And then just yesterday you had the Facebook shutdown. So it's a coordinated action. It's not a one-off isolated action. It's a well-planned, well-thought-out, coordinated action. And I think if this goes down, you'll see more of it coming. And very soon you're going to end up with a substantially totalitarian regime in place. So our rights and freedoms will be sacrificed. That's a big danger. So no, that's the wrong thing to do. I think our opposition leader is ready to give instructions to some lawyers to challenge that particular section only in the new NEC Act, to have the court declare it unconstitutional, because let me emphasize this. The court has broad discretion, powers, jurisdiction to review all actions of statutory constitutional authority. When you say that sort of thing, you are shrinking the court's powers. Of course, that has to be challenged. The court will not take too kindly that you are now shrinking their broad jurisdiction to review all statutory and constitutional actions that you take. So, yes, you might not be able to, but the court, because it is not permitted to look at the NEC decisions, the court will say, hold on, that's unconstitutional. You are using a legislation to restrict my constitutional jurisdiction. My constitutional jurisdiction is big. It includes the power to look at your NEC decision. But when you block that off, then you're doing the wrong thing, because my power to look at it comes from the Constitution. You can't use an act to restrict it. So it's a very solid ground to have that particular section deleted by an order of court or declaration by the court. And our opposition leader has already taken advice, and we're going to support him on that, and we'll move in that direction.
Mr. Kua, just one